How many of you have never heard me speak before? Well, your luck has run out. Those of you who are familiar with what I teach people are also familiar with the directness with which I speak. You are... I hope you'll feel the same way when I'm finished. You see, I have enormous faith in the potential that lies inside of human beings. I know in my own life I started with great handicaps: polio, isolation hospital, iron lung, sent home as a cripple, told you have your son but he'll never live again or he'll never walk again. And from that beginning, I realized when I was in that hospital, when I heard the doctor sort of telling my mom what was probably going to be my outcome, there was some instinct I had, which you have also, but you better learn to listen to it, that told me I didn't like the outcome and that I had something to do with that outcome. And so I'm going to try to convince you here in the time that I have that you personally are the creator of your own destiny. And you have been. For the most part, you have been conditioned not to win, but to survive. And that should never be good enough. Our Creator did not make us as clay that could not be self-molded, but only molded by the influences of the negativity and the things where common denominators of excellence are low, where aspirations of people are low, where dreams have died. That's not your journey. That's not your purpose. But yet we look around, and everywhere we look in the world, we see people suffering. We see people in need. And we, who have the greatest advantage in the world, in this great country, we're sleeping. We get opportunity and we don't pursue, we play at it. Anything you play at, it's a game. Anything you win at takes serious effort. And I don't care how excited you get here this weekend, and there's a ton of excitement and good reason for it. But that does not matter if you don't change. Because where you are right now is the accumulative result of the thinking you've had, the thoughts you've had, the emotions you've used, the habits you've developed, has created the circumstance you sit in. I have taught people for years, before money comes preparation. Before money comes effort. Before money that works and will make you happy is built on the foundation of integrity and caring. Money in and of itself is not evil. It'll make a good man better and a bad man worse. That should be the end of what you need to learn about money. And money is not necessarily a consequence of hard work. Money is a consequence of how well you got prepared to deserve the stuff. Boy, that's new, huh? That's new. Ask yourself this question. Wherever you go to work next week, if that's what you're still doing, who took that job, you or your grandmother? Who walked in there one day and said, I'll settle for this? And what was the psychology behind that settling? Fear? Survival? It certainly was not prosperity, was it? You've got to know how you're thinking. Because your thinking and my thinking is the absolute, unequivocal creator of our reality. Therefore, I say to you, there is no reality except that which is the end products of your personal thoughts. Every great thinker who thought on these things expressed it to us in so many different ways. But the foundation, the premise, the truth of it all still says this: as you think, so shall you become. Your thoughts are the cause of your behaviors. Your behaviors over time are the cause of your habits. And your habits over time create the circumstance you're in called your life. Example. A person with no money talks to someone with no money how to make some. You caught that? See, that makes sense. So I say to you, if you understand this, I'll say it to you another way. How many people do you see here? Mistake. You don't see the books, the teachers, the influences that you can't see, but I know. Some are here, some aren't here. Some are ancient, some are still friends that have influenced me in order to be able to attempt to influence you. I am not the issue. Listen to the information. You were born for this information. And you know it when you hear it. You can't run from truth. Truth belongs to us. At the soul level, we're wired for it. The problem is, we don't hear it very directly often. And when we do, it is a moment of truth for you. It is a moment for you to decide, because you may not have that moment again. And we think we'll get it tomorrow, or we'll get it next week. Get it now or forget it now. How's that? There are 3 words that are the genesis of success. Become, do, then have. Are you listening? Become means prepare. It means build yourself. It means increase your knowledge, increase your energy, increase your application of effort. Becoming is learning. Then you must do what you've learned. You've had tremendous training here today. How many of you are going to do what you've learned? You know, people often ask me, George, what's the biggest secret of success? I say, that is so simple, you might miss it. I say, what do you mean? I say, you're in front of it every morning when you wake up. It's being honest in front of that mirror and saying to yourself, the true self, saying to yourself, who am I? And then measure what you do from that moment forward in the day and see what reflects back at you when you look honestly. See, success is not a big secret at all. Be, do, have. In the universe, there's a law that is indisputable, and it is the law of cause and effect. For every positive, there's a negative. For every obstacle, there's an opportunity. See, it's all connected. We just think we're separate from the wisdom of the universe or the laws of the universe. We're not. And I got news for you, folks. They don't care if you ever learn them. And those laws don't care when you learn them if you ever apply them. They just are, and they run the game. And the highest form of wisdom, in my experience, is understanding this indisputable law of cause and effect. Cause and effect. Means and end. Fruit, seed. Thought, creation. Habit, circumstance. Cause and effect. So everything that you see as complete is only the manifestation of that which was spiritual in the form of spirit and thought in the beginning, or it could not be. Now apply that to your life. Is it important what you think? Is it important that you edit your thoughts? Is it important that you correct your thinking? Because it is your thinking that is creating your life. Two men sat behind prison bars. One saw mud, the other saw stars. The circumstance was identical, but the individual perception was quite different. Therefore, the outcome and the experience was equally different. Oh, when we catch on to this law, how we can change our lives, because when we change our minds, we can change our circumstance. Dr. William James, the father of American psychology, was asked near the end of his life, what is the greatest contribution to humanity in your lifetime? To which he responded, and listened closely, that a human being can alter the circumstances of their lives by altering their attitudes of mind. Their attitudes of mind. How many times do we need to hear it before we get it? Who do you hang with? Who do you hang with? Oh, that's a good one. Joe Negative talking to Joe Negative. That's a good one. We're going to get fired up talking there. And you know, we don't think very highly of ourselves. We really don't. We don't make the connection between the universal and ourselves, between the fact that the universe is a spiritual reality and material is the outcome of a spiritual genesis. We don't get it. And that we are equipped as a human species to tap in and to comprehend and to employ that power, and we get bogged down in limited, negative, self-depreciating conversations. You're hardly ever satisfied with who you are. We always want what's over there, and we'll get what's over there when we get it right here. Now, I told you I'm very direct. So how many of you realize that you need to change? How many of you realize? Oh, that was weak. I'm not kidding. How many of you realize you need to change? Now you have to watch out for what I call your mismanaged imagination. Because the mind is so trapped in its past, and you have self-defined yourself as certain okay, not okay, good-looking, smart, dumb, stupid. You've done all that to yourself, blaming other people. You bought in. Let's take a look at that thing called self-image, because we need to improve it if we're going to improve our lives. Can you see the connection? Okay? Well, whoever told you you couldn't be a star? Whoever told you you were not uniquely talented? Whoever told you you couldn't do it? And why did you believe it? If I believed it yesterday, can I give it up today and start anew? Can I give it up today and start anew? Because listen to this. The only moment you've really ever had in life is the moment you're in. Life is eternal. If you're here now, you've got another second. And if you're here 10 seconds from now, all you have is another now. Yesterday we gather and bring forward in the reflective form of memory, and usually we try to change everything we've already done, have new themes and new ideas for what it was. It is what it is, it was what it was. What you got is now. If you establish a new direction in your life, and you're sincere, you will be amazed what will be gathered unto you. Because the human spirit is attracting people, knowledge, circumstance all the time. See, there are some people who walk through the auditorium in the back, and their aura and their stuff will dim the lights. Other people will walk through there and never say a word, and somehow the people feel uplifted. See, that stuff, is it spoken? No, it's expressed. It's an aura. It's a meaning. It's an inside, then outside. Who are you inside? The highest form, in my estimation, of knowing if one is in tune with the divine is very simple. How do you treat your fellow man? Not where you're walking into. Get that part right, especially in this business. You are going to be a servant if you're going to be a leader. Can you handle it? You are going to do things that other people are not willing to do, and you better do them consistently. Are you up to it? You have to be a beacon, a light in a world of darkness, because you're going to care enough to help some other people move forward. Are you up to it? You hear all those RVPs. How many thank yous did you hear? Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. That's pretty prevalent, isn't it? They weren't taking the credit themselves. They were proud of the people that they were able to lead, and prouder for the lives that were improved because they had something to do with it. Folks, I've been in this industry 35 years. I've been with this company, I'm in my 11th year. Take it or leave it. These guys are for real. This company's for real. They care about you, and they're not going to do anything intentionally ever to hurt you, or I wouldn't be here. Self-image, what we think of ourselves. Well, you know, let's take a look at Einstein for a minute. Einstein was 4 years old before he could speak. Einstein was 7 years old before he could read. Haydn said about Beethoven, he'll never be a musician. He's a clod. There's no music in him that I want to work with. Beethoven. Yeah. And then you go a little further. Sir Isaac Newton was horrible in grade school. Is there hope for us? And I love the story, the great story of David and Goliath. If you think you can't win, just listen. David was a little guy, wasn't that big. Goliath was a big guy, about 3 times my size. And that Philistine was a mean dude. And Goliath's brother, or David's brother, said to David, don't fight him, you can't win. Are you listening to the parallels? Don't do it, you won't make it, all around you. David learned very quickly that he had to get away from negative influences and negative input, because he knew the power of that to influence the mind, which would influence the behavior. So David negated the negative. But then David did something that you all need to do. David became good at his trade. David practiced and practiced and practiced. He would go down and get the stones and polish the stones and get the absolute perfect stones for what he was doing. He became skillful. Is there a parallel? And then he became confident. When did he become confident? Right away? No, he had faith right away. Confident need to be built upon exercise and application and knowledge, acquisition. Yes or no? I mean, this is simple, folks. This is simple. But will you do it? David got prepared. David practiced. David made sure he had the right tools to do the job, didn't he? If that were DVDs and the magazines, David would have loaded up. Are you seeing the parallel? Then David, because he was confident, he was not tentative. Tentative is no power. Tentative is a lie. Tentative is you saying you don't have what you got. You got power you haven't even begun to tap because you're afraid to be judged. You're afraid to be ridiculed. You're afraid to be thought you might not be so bright. Who cares? They're not going to pay your bills. They're not going to feed your kids. I've never seen a statue, and I travel all over the world. I've never seen a statue anywhere that was erected to a negative, complaining critic. Never. Check your attitude. When you look at the glass, is it half empty or half full? It better be. Let me tell you what Socrates said about tentative. This is a universe, he said, that does not favor the timid. Let me give you a spiritual insight into that. Because you're created with incredible potential, the universe won't favor you if you don't develop it and use it. Can you handle that? Now David gets ready, and he's going to face the giant. This is you now. You got some training, you got ready, your confidence is built, and now you feel like you can really do this thing. Maybe it's a year from now. Doesn't matter. And here's Goliath. What do you think I am? A dog that you come to me with sticks? At which time David, and with one single shot, bing, down goes the dazed giant. Those are your critics. David wasn't through. He only dazed the critic. So he went up and finished the job. And how you do it is you get away from the Goliaths who steal your dreams. So the self-image is built upon the belief system. That is to say, what you really believe about yourself, you're going to act consistently with that belief. Henry Ford said, whether you think you can or you cannot, you're right. Where did it come from? What was happening or the thought that preceded what was happening? The self-limiting thought created the lack of involvement. So once you think you can't, your will to participate is diminished. Therefore, you keep losing because you're not willing to step out and get trained and become more so you can have more. There's no shortcuts here, but the path is wide open for you. The path is there. I've seen people, in my experience of working with people, thousands and thousands of people in many, many countries. I've seen people in their 70s and 80s. I see them a year later and I can't believe it's the same person because one day they were sitting here and inside of them they said enough is enough. It's time I get with it. This guy's making sense. I don't know if I like what I'm hearing, but there's a part of me that knows, oh my goodness, is he talking to me? How many of you know I'm talking to you? My kids will tell you every day I spend time reviewing within myself the things I teach. I don't want to lose it. And to maintain anything, you need to stay involved with it. And most people will pick up a book or pick up a tape, half listen to it and think they've learned something. All you've learned is a couple of more cliches to pass on that are no power because you don't live them. Yeah. You still like me? Self-image is based upon belief system. Therefore, what you need to do, since it's belief, you need to engage in some uncomfortable behaviors so that you can prove to yourself you can do what you think you can't do. And then you have a new belief. Therefore, you're an improving self-image. On top of the shoulders of that improvement comes more improvement. Now your belief about yourself goes to another level. All you've heard all day is that system in process. When I started, I was afraid. When I started, I was broke. I just wanted, I hoped, I felt. Did anybody say, boy, I got into this thing? You wouldn't believe it. I just sashayed my way right to RVP. It's a cakewalk. The road to riches is laden with defeatable obstacles. Did you hear me? And the further you travel it, the least traffic is on it. It's a wide open highway up on top. Is that where you want to be? Do you have it in you to be here this time next year? How about 2 years from now? How about 3 years from now? Well, I got news for you. If that is true for you, you will come to me and say, you know what? I'm glad I did. Make a commitment, not for a week, not for 30 days, not for 60 days. Make a commitment for a minimum of 1 year. Can you do it? And in 1 year's time, in this environment, with these guys who run this company, with the quality of training and caring that is in this company, you will not be the same. You will be more skilled. You will be more proficient, and you will be building a team that one day is going to take care of your family. Is that a dream worth dreaming? Solomon said over 3,000 years ago, unless the people dream, they perish. Can you dream again? Can you really dream again? Or are you so bogged down not believing in yourself that it's too hard for you to do? It's a choice. It's not magic. It's a choice. It's a declaration to the core of your being, this I am going to see to the finish line. This I shall see to the finish line. Hear that power? Not, here. Oh, I'll give it a try. Carlyle said, in life, it's not so much the troubles that we face. What really is really bad is the joys and successes that we miss. We're all going to have struggles. But if I'm struggling in something and I know how to deal with it, and how to deal with it is to include it. The reason you have problems, you keep resisting what's going to happen anyway. Oh, I called Joe. He said he'd meet me at the PBR. I go to Joe's house and he's not even there. I think I should quit. I can't do this business. Joe is determining the rest of my life. How about this one? I called my sister, and she won't even get a phone from me. Your sister hasn't liked you for years. Or you get all dressed up. You got an appointment in the coffee shop. You were practiced, you were primed, you were enthusiastic. You get to the coffee shop. Your prospect just told you half an hour ago they're on their way. You are practicing while you're sitting there. You got your 1 to 10 down. You're not going to act too excited. You're going to be professional. Oh. I don't need to fill in the blanks. You know what you'd be doing about that time. Can you handle that? I'm going to give you a secret. You want to know how to go to the top? Did you hear yesterday about tap rooting? Remember? It may not be the person you sponsor. Remember when they said, look, because it'll count for you? You're sorting. How do you know how to sort? It's easy. Easy. Who's coming to the meetings? Who's consistently coming to the meetings with a good attitude? And who's bringing some guest? Jump all over that one. How many do you need? How many fingers do I have? I don't care how many frogs you have to kiss, you only need to find 5 to become a prince. Now, can you find, over the next 2 years, 5 people somewhere in 5 lines that you started that can become a TC? Why make it more complicated? Why make it more complicated? You're sitting on a technology here that is going to continuously improve, and by the time this thing begins to penetrate the market, you are sitting in the driver's seat, if you're here. I know you heard about the company's acquisition of top flight engineers, the best known, and guess what? We get to tap their brains in our products today and in the future. Do you know where you're sitting? You need to become the person you are looking for. Did you hear me? You all need to become the person you really want on your team. Do you want a lazy person? Do you want a dishonest person? Do you want a deceptive person who misrepresents the opportunity? Do you want a cheater? Do you want a good person? Would you like the person to be honest? Would you like them to have friends? This is so easy. Don't sponsor the slickster. They're cancer to your organization. Hold up your own integrity.